Welcome to Fear It Goes, the podcast all about taking your fears with you and doing it anyway. I'm your host, Brandy Taylor. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Fear It Goes. Took a little hiatus, have enjoyed some summer, gotten out a little bit, definitely got some vitamin D that I was very much needing, and so appreciative and ready to come back full blown with some really great content for you. So today I wanted to talk to you about core values and how important it is not only to know your core values, but how to be able to express that in your personal and professional life, and why that's going to make things so much easier for you. So are you guys ready? Awesome, because I am stoked to bring it. Core values. What are core values? Well, core values are the things that really, truly drive us with no condition. It's the thing that's underlying what you really want in a big, big picture in life. And a lot of times we're not really aware of what our core values are. So when I first became aware of core values, it was an exercise I did with a coach, and it was one of those moments when it was like at that moment, I was kind of like, yeah, this is true and this resonates, but I didn't really see how valuable this information was until later when it got applied to a few other things. And then I went, oh my God, this is the difference between success and sometimes failure, and actually quite often failure, because you're so misaligned in the things that are really driving the underlier. So my deepest core value, and I'm sharing this with you because maybe, just maybe, this will help you too find and discover your deepest core values. I work with clients, and this is one of the first things that we do. We work through core values. We work through what people really want. We go through the clarity course, and clarity is uber important if you actually want to get ahead in life. You need to know what you actually really want and what drives you, because if you don't know what drives you, you'll make decisions that will feel really wrong. You'll have lots of failures repeatedly and not fully understand why they failed. So it's one of the things we work through. But my deepest core value, I have one very, very big one, and then ones that kind of cascade down from that. So my deepest, biggest core value is love. And when I first discovered that, I was like, yeah, it sounds kind of hokey, right? It's because we look at love as an ego-based love. We don't look at love from the truth of what love really is, and that is unconditional. When we are in one of two states, which we've talked about before, you're in one of two states. You're either in high state or low state. High state is unconditional love, and low state or lower states are fear. And fear manifests in so many ways for us through so many low-grade emotions, and they're all linked to survival. So I don't want to survive in this life. I want to thrive in this life. And I really, really want to contribute to this life. So if I want to do that, I need to move outside the fear and all of this stuff and move into the higher states. And when you move into these higher states of consciousness and you really get to experience unconditional love, it's unmistakable. You never, ever will misunderstand what love is ever again, because love isn't something because. It just is. It just is. So anyways, this is my highest core value. One of my other core values is personal growth. Throughout my whole life, it's been a guiding light. It's driven my actions. And when I have veered off of that path, things have felt wrong. It doesn't feel like me, but I didn't recognize that that's what was going on. I didn't understand that, core values are so important, and what the hell's a core value? For some people, when I was in finance, some people, financial security is one of their core values. And I mean, financial security is rooted in the concept that there is not enough, that there's a lacking of, that there's only so much and you can only have a little portion of, right? So it's a lower state It's a lower state value, but it's still significant value. So someone who has a core value of financial security will not take big risks. They will not be the great big entrepreneurs that go out in the world because they don't want to take those risks because they really feel wrong inside. Core values are when you feel really aligned. So I said personal growth was one of mine. When I moved into different areas, I always wanted to help people. Why? Because it elevates them. What's it doing? It's bringing them up to my highest core value of unconditional love and how I can help and how I can contribute. These are all important to me. One of my core values also is solid communication. Without it, I feel like something's wrong. So understanding core values and what yours are allows you to articulate that to others. And when you are able to express these core values to other people, whether it be personally actually is amazing, because then you actually can really quickly determine whether or not your core values are aligned with each other. So I start dating someone, we're together for 5-6 months. I'm just saying, like, this is an example, but I date someone, we're together for 5-6 months, and we start to see that things are not so right. Often it's a misalignment of core values, because you can have different interests, you can have different things that you do, but the core values are the twining of the foundation for the relationship, right? They're the things that bring you together that are really, really important and drive you both in the same direction. So you can have outside interests, you can definitely be involved in outside things, but when it comes to the most important parts of your relationship, they need to be able to come together. So personal growth is one of mine. Well, if I'm with someone who totally doesn't value personal growth, thinks that it's just junk or whatever, how long is that relationship going to last? Funny enough, actually, it lasted 15 years. Personal assessment is not the same as personal growth. And looking back on a day is not the same as personal growth. So I believe in evolution of self, soul, what we're doing here, how we contribute. I look at it from many different spaces, and I need someone who at least falls in line with, I want to improve myself and be the best person I could be. Every day I want to be a little bit better than I was yesterday, right? So that's the goal. That's who I align with. But if I'm dating someone who, comes across as pretty positive and all these great things, and then I discover that this doesn't matter to them, this is a key component that drives me. It's a big, big part of what is important to my life. And how does that work with someone who doesn't want to grow? I had an interesting conversation with a client actually yesterday about core values, and I'm actually working through core values with 2 business owners right now and how to articulate those in your business to attract your ideal clients instead of just any client. You want the ones that you actually want to work with, that are super excited to work with you, and core values are part of that. And being able to express that, because then you're speaking the same language and they're like, wow, you're talking right to me. You're talking like you wrote this for me, or, this was made for me, because that's the alignment of the core values. But it was really interesting. We were talking about this with growth, and I'm using this specific because it's really important to know. As we move through personal growth, we feel better about ourselves, we love ourselves more, and we know that we're worth way more than we have usually given ourselves credit for, or that we've ever seen in ourselves. And as you move up these scales in consciousness, sometimes your partner isn't. See, this is where there's that importance to that alignment, right? So if both parties think that it's important to have personal growth, you may not do it at the same time, but the growth is still going to happen. For some, they fight growth tooth and nail and don't want it. They don't want it. And again, I'm not here to judge anybody who doesn't want it. You're on your own journey. I'm saying that this is where a lot of conflicts happen in relationships and partnerships, whether they be personal or professional, because there's that massive disalignment, right? We're no longer aligned with each other on huge scales. I'm feeling so much better, and you're still here, and you don't want to come up here with me. You want to stay down here. And then I'm dealing almost with this crab in the bucket type of experience. And it's, again, it's nothing against these, like these dynamics. It's nothing to say that, you know, this person is terrible or anything like that. You're just at different stages, and knowing that catch up period is coming is enough to hold space. I can be patient. I can hold the space for you to grow with me or grow at some time coming down the pike, because I know it's important to you too. And a lot of times when personal growth, for instance, again, I know I'm using this one because it's important. When personal growth is part of or are part of those core values, you see opportunities to grow through someone. You see something really great in them that you want in yourself. You see an opportunity to really go out and do something amazing to raise yourself because they are being them. It's pretty awesome, the opportunities that are always in front of us. You might find that in business. You might find an incredible company that you want to work with because you admire things in them, or they're such a good partnership with the type of clients you have and the type of clients they have. Because again, they're similar in so many ways because they have the same trajectory and the same drivers underlying. Your decisions will come from core values, and your decisions will also come from conditioning. So you have two major drivers in you that push you forward, and one of them is the conditioning. The beliefs you have really dictate your actions, but your core values will always steer your actions. I have an exercise for core values so that you can know yours and kind of go through the things that are important. It's getting to know your core values, and you'll get to recognize other people's pretty quickly too, because you see what's going to benefit that person with you or not. And like I said, this plays out in both personal and professional life. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where this goes. When I'm talking with a business owner and I say, like, and we're talking about ideal clients, I don't want every single client. I don't want people who don't understand me, don't resonate with me, don't have the same goals in mind directionally, don't have the same driver. I want people who want, so again, personal growth being one of my big ones, right? Personal growth. Why do I want people who want, like, really want to escalate their incredible being, really want to own their magic, really want to step into their incredible superhero, their giant, whatever you want to call it, like step into you and your authentic self. If you're sort of wishy-washy and this doesn't really matter to you, we're not going to resonate. You might think you want some help, but ultimately in the end, you don't really want the help. And that's okay. It's okay. Just not aligned with me. I don't want every client. I'm not right for everybody. No business is right for absolutely everybody. Knowing who your ideal client is has a lot to do with your core values for the company and whether they mesh with that person. Are they going to be a good client with you? Are they going to be a long-term, loyal, loving you client, right? Are you able to communicate these things with them? And are they able to share those communications with you? Same thing in your personal life. When we know what overlaps the important drivers in our life, what's really taking us down the path to creating a life together, because partnerships are about having some stuff that's us and some stuff that comes together that's joined. We need to have full vision for long term. And that's the beauty of being a little bit older. And that's the beauty of knowing core values. It's the beauty of being able to communicate these things. But can you imagine in your latter 20s, in your latter 20s, if you knew really what your core values were, what really drives you and gets you like, that's it. If you really knew those, what that would mean for the relationships you had, could even be for the jobs that you took. Yeah, this really links with me. This makes my heart sing. This is my happy place. Who says these type of things? But you can. Why would you not seek out positions or roles, jobs, or business opportunities and things that get you excited? And of course, what drives you gets you excited. It's awesome to learn some really cool, simple tools about yourself so you can create what you really, really, truly want in your life. Because all of you out there that are saying, well, I want more money, it's not really about the money. It is, but it's not. It's what the money represents. If we move into deeper whys, we look into those things, again, it's going to bring us back to our core values, what's important to us. And when we look at what's important to us, that will supersede willpower any day of the week. How much would you like to not have to force yourself to do something? How much would you like to be pulled towards it instead? Oh, so juicy, right? All right, peeps. This was a short one. I just really wanted to give you some info on this. If you are interested in learning more about core values, it is part of my clarity course, which honestly is so cool because it really sets you up for all the things that you want, really flushing that out. What does that mean? How does that dictate the rest of your life? How do you create that? How do you get that momentum? How do you get that pulling you instead of you having to push and struggle and force it so much? And life doesn't have to be hard. It can be really fun. Can be really fun and really exciting, an incredible, adventurous journey. This is what I want to give to you. So if this is interesting to you guys, oh, and I want to add one more little piece in that. Wouldn't it be nice to stop feeling overwhelmed? Stop feeling like, oh my God, I've got so much to do in a day and not enough day to do it in? It's because often we don't know clearly enough what we're actually trying to drive, what matters to us, what we really want to achieve. And in that, we end up saying yes to too many things and not saying no to enough things. So getting really clear, really, oh God, changes your life, changes your life immensely. You will feel good about the things that you're doing because they're actually things you want to be doing. And you'll start saying no to the things that you don't because they don't matter. So if this is interesting to you, contact me at feargoes.com. And yeah, until next week, beautiful souls. This is a shorty, but a goodie. I'm so happy to be back with you. And yep, we're doing some videos. Don't know about these, but we'll see. Until next week, beautiful souls, have an absolutely extraordinary week.